Hey guys, today on DefenderBetter we are installing a brand new boost gauge. You are going to need a boost gauge hose connector, NPT threads, as well as a T-piece here that goes from NPT to the hose on the turbo wastegate actuator. The wiring for the boost gauge is really similar to the other gauges in your cluster. You're just going to need to have a light. There is no sensor wire, instead there's an actual air cable that will run to the wastegate. So here is one of the ends of the NPT adapter to the NPT threads on the gate. So you'll need to find a way to get that through the boost gauge. What I recommend doing here is taking another wire, something thinner, and shoving that through the bulkhead and finding a way to run that hose. I'm using a piece of heat shrink to keep it all together. Let's see if it can work. All right, and then just a gentle amount of heat to bring those together. Might be worthwhile to note that you would want a knot at the end of this wire that you're going to run in so you don't pull the whole thing through and lose track of it. All right, so here we are back in the engine bay. We're going to try to pull this wire through the bulkhead and hopefully the other end stays attached. Feels like I'm getting a good pull so far. A little tight here. Oh, and that's a fail. All right, take two with an even skinnier piece of electrical shrink wrap. So we're gonna see if that's strong enough to get it through in one piece. Now we're kind of getting hung up on that bulkhead sealant, but we're through. Nice. So we need to get at that hose that's kind of underneath the intake here.
Hey, Future Andrew here. I recommend checking out a video by Defender James to get a better idea of how this system works. A link to his video is in the description.
This is what goes to that actuator for the wastegate. So I'm just going to remove this. So upon further inspection, it looks like the little hose that came from that underside of the turbo is a little bit cracked, a bit damaged around where the clamps were. So it's a good idea to replace this, but that's not in the time budget for today. And I realized that by adding this T-piece, I will lengthen that hose. So what I'm just going to do is cut that end and cut the other end. And hopefully this adds enough length to the entire system that the pieces I cut off really won't matter. All right, I'll say we've got that cleaned up. So time to go fit it back where it was originally.
Future Andrew here again. The problem with using this kind of T-piece is that it is too large and you need to have a bend in the hose to actually be able to easily, I do mean easily, install the hose. If you don't have a very flexible hose, you can't really install the T-piece. So get a T-piece like this one. It's a lot shorter, it's a lot more effective, but you'll notice it's not NPT. It is using barbs for a 4mm air hose. So I recommend getting something that looks a little bit like this that you'll be able to connect a airline to, and that airline can be adapted to the gauge and the NPT threads on that gauge. So you'll need a new T-piece and maybe a better system for running the airline. Just my 2 cents on that one.
So we've got that pipe installed, got the other pipe installed, now there's a pipe installed, and that pipe runs to the pipe that we ran earlier, so they're all installed. So I haven't put everything back together yet, but we got a working boost gauge.